All right, synthetic. So if you know the question will not have a remainder, okay, and it doesn't have a remainder because it's saying fully factorized. If I know it doesn't have a remainder, I can actually do it pretty fast using synthetic. The idea of it is fairly straightforward. It's just like multiplying. So what you're going to look at is x multiplied by what here is going to get you x cubed. And you obviously would say x squared. And like I said, because it's a fully factorized and you know there's no remainders, you actually also know what the constant should be. This constant term here is -1 times something that gets you -6. That should be +6. Anyone have any questions with the way I've just done this? Anyone confused?
Does this only work when there's no remainders?
No. It's just faster when there's no remainders.
All right.
Like this. So I'll do this one first, then do this one second. And then, as you can see, I'm stuck in the middle. For the middle, you know you need to get -6x squared. So you, pretty much, if you think of partial fractions, you're equating coefficients. So -6x squared. And now, where's my x squares from this expansion on the left side? Well, you'll get an x multiplied by an x here. So let's call that a x squared. And you'll also get it from these two. So in other words, a minus 1 must give you -6. And therefore a is -5. And then you're done. And obviously to fully factorize it, it would be something like this. So firstly, Enoch, any questions?
No, that's all good.
You think it makes sense now?
Yeah.
So that's the way I would do it if it was a fully factorized question. Or if I knew, you know, I'm trying to, I don't know, sketch it, which means there's also not going to be any remainders. Or if I'm solving, which means there's not going to be any remainders. Now, if I didn't know if there was going to be remainders or not, so let's say, yeah, I guess we could do that one. These are all zeros. Set those in. Then I'll just make one up. So, you know, if I had x to the power of 3 plus 3x squared minus 2x minus 10 divided by x minus 5. This is pretty much how it would look. Now, I don't know if this is a factor. I mean, you can sub it in and find out. But let's just assume we don't know if it's a factor. If we don't know if it's a factor, that means the way I'm going to do it synthetically now will change just slightly. I can't rush it in for the constant term because it might not work. So what you're going to do it in order. So Anouk, x times what gets you x cubed? You're going to say x squared. Then again, you know that that's going to be your x term, right? Of course. So you need to get +3. So you're equating, when you write it, you're equating coefficients of x squared. So on your right hand side you've got 3, on your left hand side you're going to have -5 plus the a, which means a equals 3 plus 5 is 8. Any questions? Then you go to the next one. So you got to do it in order. You're going to equate coefficients of x. So again, this will be -2. How would you get x's? You'll get x's from this number multiplied by x, let's call it b, and negative 5 times 8, which is negative 40. You'll get 38. And then, last but not least, when you expand this, negative 5 times 38 is negative 190, negative 190. You need it to be negative 10. So you're going to add 180. Because then when you expand this, minus 190 plus 180 is negative 10. And that's it. Of course, as you get faster, you won't be writing equate. You can do it pretty quickly. And did that make sense?
Okay, wait, how do you find the remainder again?
So again, think of the expansion of this. Negative 5 times, well, what's the only way you're going to get constants from this expansion? It's just
Negative 5 times 38.
Times 38. That becomes negative 190. But what should you have?
Negative 10.
So then that should be plus 180. Or if you can't do it, just go negative 190 plus c equals negative 10.
Okay. So what happens if you were dividing by like a quadratic or something?
It doesn't matter. It's the same thing.
Okay.
I'll do it. I'll do one for you, and then that's it. I think we're going to move on. It doesn't make a difference what it is, because you're multiplying. So minus 3. Okay, so we're going to do x squared, take away 4x plus 3, multiplied by something that gives me x cubed, minus 6x squared plus 11x, take away 6. Obviously, x squared multiplied by what is going to get you x cubed? Straight away, that's just going to be x. Yes?
Yeah.
And then, of course, when you know that's an x, which means it's a linear now, you know the next one's just going to be a constant, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I'm going to equate x squares. So I'm not going to write it. Let's just see if you guys can pick this up. So that's negative 6. X squared is going to come from negative 4. Negative 4 plus x squared multiplied by, let's call it a. So a equals minus 6 plus 4, negative 2. Done. If I know it's a factor, right? But let's assume we didn't know. What I will do, can you see how 3 times negative 2 also gives me negative 6?
Yeah.
So I know it's done. There's no remainder.
Okay, so you basically equate the constants.
That is all you're doing. Coefficients, you know. Oh, like constants at the end? Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Yep. Just to double check that there are no remainders.
Okay, cool.
If you want, you can expand it as well, and you can get 11x. Look, that's plus 8, plus 8x, plus 3x. 8 plus 3, 11x. So you can do it fairly quickly. Cool. All right, I think I'll stop it there, unless anyone's got any questions on that.